Alright, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to open the file called Shadow Practice. That's in the folder called Photo Demo Examples. So you're going to go to Photo Demo Examples on the P drive. Then you're going to click on Shadow Practice and you're going to open Man Standing and Practice Wall Copy. You're going to open those up. Alright, so once those are open, then you're going to use the Quick Selection tool to select your man that is standing. Okay, so go and use your Quick Selection tool. Make sure you select the whole man and click on Refine Edge. Make sure everything is selected. If we look at on black, everything is selected. Nothing black is inside the man. If we look on marching ants, or if we look on white, okay. So now we're going to go up to Edit, Copy, go back to the Practice Wall, Copy, Edit, Paste. We're going to move him. Make sure we click on the Move tool, Show Transform. We're going to move him over a little bit. And resize them down slightly and press enter to set them in. Now we're going to come over here and we're going to lock this layer here. But first we're going to duplicate that layer. We're going to duplicate the layer. We're going to call it Shadow. Okay. And now we are going to lock the shadow layer by clicking on this little box right here. Okay, make sure you click on this little box that says lock, and there's a little box. Click on that box and you'll notice a little white lock appears on the shadow layer. Now we're going to make sure we have black selected on the foreground color down here, and we're going to come up here to Edit, Fill, Foreground Color, Black. And now we're going to uncheck that box because we do not want this to be checked anymore. We're going to go ahead and move the man out of the way. And we're going to use the Move tool, Show Transform Controls, and we're going to move him down. We're going to reposition him a little bit. I'm also going to put him behind the original man. So I'm going to click Enter. And I'm going to move layer 1 above so that shadow is behind. And now I'm going to continue to move that shadow a little bit more. There we go. So now we want this shadow right here where the feet is. The shadow and the feet kind of match up. You know, we want it to look good. We don't want to see any weird shadows like coming out that way. That would not be good. So we want it like that. So the shadow is right behind the man's feet. Now we are going to come over here to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and we're just going to blur the shadow just slightly, maybe about an 18. Looks good. And now we need to gradually blend the shadow, so we're going to push the Q on the keyboard, which is going to put us into the quick mask. Everything is grayed out here. You'll notice this is no longer red, but it is gray. Okay. We're going to use our gradient tool. Make sure our gradient tool is set to 100% opacity. Make sure we have the black over here and the white there. And we are going to drag this across. Push the quick mask again. And we want this right-hand side selected with the marching ants. So this right hand side of this image should be selected. So it should be the top of the shadow that is selected. Now we're going to go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and we're going to blur the top of the shadow slightly so it kind of gradually blurs out a little bit. So now we should see a much stronger precise shadow by the feet, and as it gradually goes out towards the head, it blurs out a little bit more. And we're going to say OK. Now we're going to deselect, and we're going to put a layer mask on our shadow. Make sure we have got a nice little layer mask. Click on our little layer mask down here. Again, we're going to be on the gradient tool, but this time we want to adjust our gradient tool down to about 40%. And we are going to drag our gradient tool across the shadow. And now you should see a gray on the layer mask. On the right side of the layer mask, you should see it grayed out slightly. If you keep doing it, it'll keep getting darker, okay? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to blend the shadow out even more. So it should be very precise of shadow by his feet, but as it moves away from him, as the shadow extends out, it becomes lighter, okay, and becomes more blurred. And that's what happens in reality when you have an object that's standing up with a direct light. Now, if it's directly resting on the wall like the musical instrument here, you're going to get a more precise shadow like what you see here. That's going to be more precise because the shadow, the instrument, is right against the wall. But here, this man is actually standing away from the wall a little bit, so that is why you have a more gradual gradient shadow that is more precise, more darker by the feet, but as it moves away towards the head of the shadow, it blends out and blurs out. And that is it.